This know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy, without natural affection, truce breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good, traitors, heady, high-minded, lovers of pleasure more than lovers of God, having the form of godliness but denying the power thereof.
We have 500 days to avoid the climate chaos. Very important issue of climate change, climate chaos. We have 500 days to avoid the climate chaos.
Reports are to the Cape Town.
Revelations.
Fueled a fire that tore through a Detroit apartment building. 5 people died. 4 were hurt.
It was a horrendous fire to fight.
And severe flooding slamming California, where there are reports of at least 8 deaths. Thousands are forced from their homes as creeks and reservoirs overflow, sending floodwaters into neighborhoods. What you're seeing is moments ago in San Jose, California, that's south of San Francisco. North of San Francisco is where we find the Oroville Dam.
Anyone who comes out of the water is required to go to the hospital to get checked and to be decontaminated because the flood water could contain gasoline, sewage, and motor oil. And because of that, city workers from San Jose were going door to door telling residents that they needed to wait to be taken out by boat. But rather than wait for rescue, some decided to walk out. All of this water coming from the Coyote Creek, which overflowed.
News crew dropping their camera to the ground. People fleeing as the superheated debris rains down and a dense cloud of steam engulfs the slope.
Have you seen the others?
All scramble for the safety of the mountain vehicle. A window there shattered by the flying rocks. 10 people injured, 3 hospitalized, but all were badly shaken.
To convey its concern and issue a call to leaders and citizens across the globe, the board takes the unprecedented step, the first time in its history, of moving the clock hand 30 seconds closer to midnight. Today we move the clock a half minute closer to midnight. It is now 2.5 minutes to midnight.
Destructive winds and a relentless downpour. Pilbara roads have turned into dangerously fast-flowing rivers. Suburban streets becoming floodways. Tomorrow, gale force winds and heavy rain more than 100 millimetres are expected to lash the Kimberley coast and Pilbara. Strong currents have cut off remote communities, most stranded. Columbaroo in our far north receiving close to 60 mils of rain today alone. A powerful storm has hit Sydney. A month's worth of rainfall flooded streets in just 3 hours. Parts of the city have been brought to a standstill, damaging cars and homes.
There it is. There is the tornado that is moving to the east-northeast. It's in New Orleans east. Damage reported at Michoud. We've had reports of injuries today, and it's crazy. Look at the lightning associated with this. There's that tornado. This is in Madisonville. You can see first the funnel, and then you can see the dam. Oh my gosh, you can see that damage with debris flying in the air.
Her dog was home alone. You can see the walls of her home have been ripped off. There's a
heavy amount of damage here.
Just getting in this video of some of the damage there in the New Orleans area. You can see power lines that have been snapped. Some folks on Twitter posted pictures of what appears to be more than one funnel cloud touching down at the same time.
Flew over a second major slide that happened in Sunday's rain. Watch as rocks and debris continue to fall today.
Many people in the Midwest are waking up to extensive damage from dozens of tornadoes. Rain flooded roads and strong winds and sent debris flying. The dangerous gusts flattened buildings and toppled trees. More than a dozen people were hurt. At least 29 possible tornadoes were reported in Kansas, Illinois, Iowa, and Missouri. Wildfires burning out of control across several states. The governor of Oklahoma declared a state of emergency in 22 counties last night.
The fires have killed at least 6 people and scorched more than 1 million acres. They are burning in parts of Texas, Kansas, parts of Texas, Kansas, Colorado, and Oklahoma.
Fierce winds, rain, and tornadoes tore through the Midwest overnight. In Oak Grove, Missouri, east of Kansas City, tornadoes ripped doors off their hinges and sliced roofs clean off their walls. At least 10 people suffered minor injuries. To the north, winds up to 50 miles per hour sent debris flying, smashing in garage doors, shattering windows, and downing power lines.
And that weird shaking, the strange booms after dark last night, what could have caused it? The theories range from aliens to an earthquake.
An elementary school teacher in Milwaukee has parents outraged after using a Ouija board in her kindergarten classroom. They colored, learned some letters, and communed with the anguished spirits of the dead. An outraged mother is calling on Milwaukee Public Schools officials to fire a kindergarten teacher who introduced the young students in her class to a Ouija board.
CNN reports that in a Thursday speech in Rome, the Pope said it might be better to be an atheist than a Christian who exploits people, leads a double life, gets involved in dirty business, and scandalizes the church. Examples of such scandals abound, the Pope said, adding that they erode the church and the guilty Christian from within by causing others to sin and lose faith.
Exorcists, witches, and occultists in a number of magical groups are announcing plans for a ritual designed to bind Donald Trump and all who abet him. The rite, requiring a stub of a candle, a pin, salt, matches, a tarot card, a feather, and other odds and ends, calls on spirits to ensure President Trump will fail utterly. It also includes burning a picture of the commander-in-chief, visualizing him blowing apart into dust or ash. Participants apparently have the option of using a baby carrot instead of an orange candle. Among the various spirits invoked are the demons of the infernal realms.
A Facebook group calling on witches across the U.S. to cast a mass spell against Trump last Friday attracted over 12,000 likes. Celebrities are joining in too, after an instruction manual went viral telling witches what to throw into their cauldron to make the ultimate anti-Trump potion.
To find Donald J. Trump.
To find Donald J. Trump.
so that his malignant works may fail utterly.
May fail utterly. You're fired! You're fired! You're fired!
A mass grave containing the remains of babies and young children has been found at a former Catholic orphanage in Ireland. The finding supports a local historian's efforts to trace the fates of 800 children who died at the facility between 1925 and 1961. The Irish government formed a commission in 2014 to investigate deaths at the Son Succor's mother and baby home in County Galway. The children who died were aged between 35 weeks and 3 years.
Well, British police are overwhelmed by a rising number of child sexual abuse reports amid criticism that less serious cases are not being addressed. As expected, the UK's lead officer on child protection says that police have been overloaded with too many claims registered on a daily basis. Simon Bailey noted that the plan is to deal with dangerous pedophiles first and then proceed to lower-level offenders. Critics argue that the understaffed police are prioritizing grave cases at the expense of the less serious ones that require equal attention. This comes as a government inquiry into child sexual abuse established in 2014 finally held a much-awaited public hearing in London on Monday. The session was focused on sexual abuse as reported by former British child migrants.
A country already besieged by widespread violence experienced an unexpected tragedy with the brutal and fatal beating of the National Zoo's beloved hippopotamus, Gustavito. The announcement Sunday of the animal's death has stirred outrage in a population already numbed by a staggering human death toll due to gang violence in recent years. Zoo director Vladin Enriquez said at a news conference that the hippo was found covered with bruises and puncture wounds after being attacked with metal bars, knives, and rods.
Police used tear gas to disperse the protesters. Over a dozen demonstrators were also arrested. The rally follows a recent spate of nationwide demonstrations that sparked after the alleged sexual abuse of a black man by police in a Paris suburb earlier this month. Thousands of people have taken to the streets since then. Police have made over 200 arrests.
Matthew 24:12, and because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. 2017 has had a demonic start to it. Let's look at this compilation of all that has transpired day by day this year. CNN, in its manipulation via the media, uses a screenshot from Fallout 4 to show how Russians hack things. On January 2nd, famous gospel singer Kim Burrell is attacked after preaching a sermon on the sin of homosexuality, because after all, God forbid that you call sodomy a sin in today's Christian realm. On January 2nd, we also see that a teen boy allegedly kills a 16-year-old Maryland girl and wounds her mother before turning the gun on himself. We wake up the next morning on January 3rd to see that a homeless man confesses to killing his older Bronx lover, planned to fry his private parts up and eat it. That very same day, arrests were actually made in the horrendous sexual assault on a 1-year-old girl. The next day, on January 4th, Fox reported a demon-sighting picture that goes viral on Facebook. And if that isn't bad enough, on January 4th, Fox Comedy features a 6-year-old trans boy wearing bondage gag. Folks, new year, same old deceptions. And before those in the church start screaming, oh, look at how the media is brainwashing people, because they absolutely are, but look at this. A pastor is charged with rape of a 15-year-old girl. A 64-year-old church leader caught in a compromising position in his vehicle. 1 Thessalonians 5:22, abstain from all appearance of evil. When the scriptures tell you that, it's because all of what you see in this world conditions you to accept sin, and conditions your mind, and conditions you to justify sin. And as we progress in this video, you will see the wickedness of this world in display like never before. January 5th, Japanese company replaces office workers with artificial intelligence. that is the biggest threat to the workforce in America and around the world. January 5th, we see a Chicago torture, a Facebook Live video that leads to 4 arrests. They tortured this man and they horrendously posted it on Facebook Live. The love of many is growing cold. That same day, January 5th, this is just a few days into the year, folks. Wisconsin man arrested for allegedly locking woman in a wooden box. That very same day, Maybelline debuts its first ever male ambassador, Manny Gutierrez. The deception just keeps on coming. That same day, January 5th, judge booted from bench after allegedly offering plea deals for sex. Even in the justice system, you have no justice. But Jesus is coming soon, and he will truly hand out justice.
The website TMZ. It shows Esteban Santiago Ruiz reaching into his waistband, pulling out a gun, and firing the first 3 shots in his rampage.
January 6th, that very same day, Watchdog Group ranks U.S. among top 12 in persecution of Christians around the world. But the scriptures tell you that if they persecuted Jesus, they will persecute you. You're not greater than your master. January 7th, a mother is charged with capital murder after allegedly stabbing her 5-year-old daughter to death. Parents abusing their children. Parents destroying their children. The love of many is growing cold. January 8th, DA says teen killed as part of mom's rape murder fantasy with boyfriend. What is going on around this world? 2 Timothy 3 verse 1. This know also, that in the last days perilous times shall come. January 9th, 83-year-old man walking home in the Bronx attacked by muggers, reports his wife. January 9th, manhunt grips Orlando as police search for the suspect in an officer shooting. That very same day, we're treated to more abomination when Ryan Reynolds and Andrew Garfield, they actually kiss. And according to them, in inspiring superhero-themed fan art. And then L'Oreal and Harry Neff take the latest groundbreaking steps for transgender models. The transgender models continue to be in the rise in the makeup industry. Folks, it's gonna get worse. The scriptures warn us that the last days will be as the days of Lot. And we're witnessing right before our very eyes. On the 10th of January, dad saves daughter as Muslims' rape frenzy plagues Germany. Islam is demonic, folks. January 11th, $5 million bond for parents of Ohio girl found dead at a restaurant. While this world is murdering children at a rate that is alarming, they have no problems protecting robots, because robots is their future. Robot kill switches and legal status. MEPs endorse AI proposal. January 12th. January 12th, illegal immigrant suspected of sexually assaulting a 5-year-old in California. January 13th, baby kidnapped from hospital in 1998 found alive. Praise God for that. Such a great thing that that child was found and now reunited with his family. Texas deputy had sex with dog, possessed child porn, officials say. January 13th. Folks, this world depends on the justice system for justice, but we've just seen a police officer committing unjust acts. We've talked about a judge committing immoral acts. The only true justice that you will find is in Jesus Christ. Stay firm in the Word. January 13th, exorcist died from a fall after a possessed child spoke to him and he was pushed over by an invisible force, CIA agents claim. You see, the Catholic Church tries to cast out demons with demons. That just doesn't work. January 13th, mom of 3 shot after answering knock at the door. You can't even answer your door nowadays, folks. If someone knocks on your door, please look through a window, please look through some other method, but be careful. Evil is on the run. That same day, January 13th, and folks, we're a few minutes into this video, and this is just what's reported in the news. Consider what's not reported in the news. This world is wicked, wicked, wicked. 2 Timothy 3, we'll now move to verse 2. For men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, unholy. Are we seeing this in the end times? Are we seeing this in our times? The answer is yes. On January 19th, a Minnesota man murdered wife after searching dark web for hitman, prosecutors say. Lovers of their own self. How selfish can you be? And then we see January 19th that a man is actually raped at knife point by a 17-year-old girl who now faces life imprisonment. It's no longer men anymore, folks. The demons are on the loose. Of course, January 20th, what's hitting the news the most is the Trump inauguration. Followed by all of the Trump inauguration, we have the Trump protest all over the world. That same day, January 20th, CBS New York is reporting, teen sets man sleeping on subway ablaze, looks on laughing. Burns a man alive and then just laughs about it like nothing. January 21st, the protests continue. At 2.6 million strong, women's marches crush expectations. In these women marches, you heard things from Madonna about blowing up the White House. If any of us said that, we would be arrested. January 22nd, Christian street evangelists met with anger, spat on as women's march on Washington. January 23rd, a Florida pastor was forced to flee naked after parishioners find him in bed with wife. And if you see this pastor, the church accepted him back like nothing. There's no standard of holiness anymore. No standard of holiness anymore. We just read, for men shall be lovers of their own selves, covetous, boasters, proud, blasphemers, disobedient to parents, unthankful, and unholy. January 24th, Billings woman is charged with beheading, dismembering, and scattering boyfriend's body parts. You can't make these things up. January 25th, a Texas teacher allegedly paid student to keep relationship quiet. January 27th, it's reported that Earth is gifted with the very first pig-human embryo thanks to science. Can you see how they reword abominations and make them look as a good thing? Abominations on the rise, as the days of Noah. February 1st starts with much of the same when a teacher did a cartwheel in front of a class without any underwear. You send your children to learn a lesson in school? Not anymore. What they're learning is perversions. That very same day, mother of one teacher, 28, at school for children with behavioral problems, had an 8-month affair with a student who was 16 and said she was her future wife. Perversions. That very same day, of course, you don't want to offend transgenders, so BMA warns against calling pregnant women expectant mothers, as it may offend intersex men. It's amazing. The scripture warns us of a day where evil will be called good, good will be called evil. We're living in those days, and we haven't seen the worst yet. February 7th, child serial rapist is real-life boogeyman. They found 1,000 pairs of soiled little girls' underwears in his home. Folks, you don't know who you live next to nowadays. Guard your children. That same day, a preacher locked up, charged with hate crime for quoting Bible to a gay teen. The good will be called bad, the bad will be called good. February 7th, men's barbershop settles with gender queen, woman who sued for being denied a haircut. February 7th, a mother was charged with abusing her 4-year-old child, a son, after broadcasting it live online. What are these people thinking? 2 Timothy, we read verses 1 and 2. Let's go to verse 3. Without natural affection, truth breakers, false accusers, incontinent, fierce, despisers of those that are good. We're in those days. We're in those perilous times, folks. February 8th. Was Buffalo mom jailed over a homeschooling decision? So you see, in schools, teachers can do cartwheels without underwears. Teachers can abuse children, and that's okay. But the moment a mother wants to homeschool her child, they end up in jail. Teachers don't end up in jail. They can move from district to district, find new jobs, remake their careers. But parents who decide to homeschool their children, they're persecuted. February 8th, Steve Bannon believes the apocalypse is coming and war is inevitable. February 9th, a man accused of targeting seniors in robbery, sexual assault in Long Beach. Not even your elderly people are safe. No respect. That same day, Woodbury bus aide charged with inappropriately touching 6 girls under age of 5. That man deserves a butt whooping. But of course, nowadays anything is labeled a mental illness. You'll say he's depressed, you'll say he's anxious, and that he just didn't know what he was doing, and he'll be released, because sin has been called nothing more than a bad behavior and a mental illness, and sin is being watered down while holiness is being persecuted. February 9th, Katie Couric's Nat Geo Gender Revolution ignores critics who say transgender agenda harms kids. February 9th, cops heard the rumors. Their worst nightmares are realized when they see their kids' arms. These parents were doing horrible things to their children, injecting them with heroin. February 9th, and this is older news, but it was updated on February 9th. Sony has officially patented a contact lens that will essentially be a DVR of your eyes. Everything you do, everything you contact, everyone you talk to, recorded in your eyes. And you'll be able to pause it, play it, record it, delete it in your home. That same day, teachers in school were called playing bleep, marry, kill game about students. These things are allowed in school. Are these teachers headed to jail? No, they're just reprimanded. February 16th, preschool teacher charged with sex assault of 3-year-old. It just doesn't stop. That same day, woman caught having sexual act with a dog after her graphic video appears online. What is wrong with these humans, man? What is wrong with these people? That same day, polygamous man accused of plotting with 3 wives to kill teen that he sexually abused. February 26th, man sentenced for cutting off woman's finger and drinking her blood in juggalo ritual. February 27th, Arizona Wildcats Mike King Johnson to make NCAA history as first openly gay football scholarship player. Isn't it amazing how all this stuff is praised? February 27th, hunt for a level 3 sex offender charged with impregnating Twin Cities preteen girl. These sexual assaults just keep on ramping up. Your kids aren't safe. Even my Chihuahua ain't safe, man. I gotta be protecting my Chihuahua from these crazy people, man. No one's safe anymore. No one is safe. In Barcelona, they opened up an actual brothel involving dolls. February 27th, Caddo Animal Shelter employee accused of abusing a dog sexually. February 28th, Fraser woman killed husband after arguing over burnt casserole. For crying out loud, man, you should have just eaten out. These people arguing over burnt casserole and they end up killing each other. I mean, she ends up killing her husband. February 28th, Disney at it again with its agenda. Disney airs its first ever gay cartoon Kiss for everyone to see. February 28th, that very same day, male teacher claims he was kidnapped, drugged, and abused by 4 female sperm bandits, suspected of being behind a number of bizarre attacks. As I mentioned to you, it's no longer just men doing this. The abuses, the abominations, they're just rampant all around the world. We read 2 Timothy 3, 1-3. Let's go to verse 4. Traitors, heedy, high-minded, lovers of pleasures more than lovers of God. We've described to you from people who love themselves only, who are covetous, who are boasters, proud, who are blasphemers, unthankful, unholy, no natural affection, truth breakers, false accusers, incontinence, fierce, despisers of those that are good. Are we not seeing that in the lawsuits about, hey, this bakery doesn't want to bake me this cake, so hey, they despise that is good. But now we're witnessing traitors, heedy, high-minded, lovers of pleasures of themselves more than lovers of God. It continues. A man was beaten to death on March 1st over $1.14 in an Oakland park. $1.14, folks. That same day, an individual tried to suck on a woman's toes, and he was arrested because he tried to do so without her permission. These people are disgusting, man. He didn't even know where these toes were that day. You understand? She could be wearing flip-flops. Nasty. That very same day, after kindergarten teacher used Ouija board in class, an outraged mom says son is having nightmares. In school, they use the Ouija board.
Well, Joyce, the teacher here at Zablocki Elementary was removed from her classroom at the end of the school day today.
And you've heard of Fitbit that you can actually put on your hand and do exercise? Where they now have it for your private parts. Think about how depraved this world is becoming. That same day, a couple who call themselves Bonnie and Clyde arrested in broad daylight, slain in East Oak Cliff. These people boasted about shooting a person on Facebook and slaying a 19-year-old man. March 8th, a Boy Scout leader charged with raping teen scout. After all, you want to allow anyone to teach a Boy Scout class anymore? You want to allow all of that stuff? Well, this is the end result. You end up with wickedness, and you end up with individuals who claim to be Boy Scout leaders who are abusing your children. A little leaven leaveneth the whole lump. March 9th, claims of sex orgies, prostitution, and porn videos shake Catholic Church in Italy. Once again, it's simply confirming what we've all said for a very long time. On March 9th, human trafficking victim forced to get plastic surgery, tattoo, police say. The pimp tells victim, you can leave whenever you want, but then threatens to kill her. That same day, man fatally shot in the land. Suspected gunman in custody, police say. March 9th, Marines have swapped nude photos of female soldiers since last May. The wickedness is insane, and these were pictures of females taking showers which were taken without their consent. Sad moments. As I mentioned, people depend on the military, on judges, on cops, on teachers to provide justice. Man, hell, they're just people. Listen, man, trust in God and God alone. Don't trust in man. March 10th, Reza Aslan eats human brain on new CNN show, Believer. Insane, folks. Insane. Cannibalism on live TV. March 10th, a lawsuit filed after teen allegedly forced to have sex with over 1,000 men over 2 years. Human trafficking in America. March 10th, St. Patrick's Parade organizers will allow gay vets to march. On this very same day, even tourists are not safe because the U.S. warned spring breakers, Bohemian jet ski and scooter operators have sexually assaulted tourists. And of course, a transgender pastor is preaching the gospel according to him, opposing Texas bathroom bill, and he says that God is transgender. But people with itchy ears will hear that. Because nowadays, if you love false teachings, you'll find a pastor for just about everything. March 11th, Disney's Le Fou, too gay for some and not gay enough for others. It's never enough. It's never enough. The wickedness is never enough. Strive to enter in at the straight gate, for many, I say unto you, will seek to enter in and shall not be able. We miss a lot of this news sometimes. And if this is just what's reported, imagine the serial murderers out there, the serial rapists out there, the witchcraft, the witches that pretend to be teachers, all of these things that are happening to your children that goes unreported. Folks, now more than ever, I ask you to guard your families. I ask you to seek Jesus Christ. And I ask you to strive to enter the straight gate. The scriptures warn us that the last days are going to be as the days of Noah. Imagine the people that were left outside of the ark. Oh, they saw the ark being built, but they mocked Noah. They made fun of Noah. They made fun of the fact that he was being obedient to his God. But a moment is coming when the ark's door is going to close, and many will seek to enter in and shall not be able to enter in. Don't allow you or your family to be part of that statistic. This world is heading downhill fast. Revelation 18:5, for her sins have reached unto heaven, and God hath remembered her iniquities.
Send it flat out of his mouth. Let society get confused as it want to guess. Those who belong to Christ, you are sealed in the hand of Almighty God. And nobody can take you out of the hand of God. Nobody. No flood, no fire, no army, no demonic power. no height, no depth, no battle, no evil, no situation, no poverty, no trial. Nothing can take you out of the hand of God. Nothing. And Paul said, I know whom I believed, and I am persuaded he's able to keep that I've entrusted to him against that day. Paul said, if I have to face flood, trial, if I have to be shipwrecked, if I have to swim to shore, if I have to shake off a snake off my hand into the fire, if I have to be chained to people in prison, if all I have left is a pen and a piece of paper, I am persuaded. The scripture tells us that no weapon formed